Hello, and welcome to this live Q&A about manifestation. I am so happy to see that there are already people here. And by the way, every time I have made a live Q&A, there have always been several people online from the beginning, and your presence is so much appreciated. I really appreciate you being here. So how are you guys? I'm here to answer your questions about manifestation. So I don't have a specific topic for these live Q&As other than your questions. You are, of course, welcome to share this live and subscribe, of course. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you here. And I am just going to wait for your questions in the comments. What are you guys manifesting? Or are you, like me, manifesting several things at once? I have had some periods where I have been focusing on one manifestation, but mostly my mind is in different places with different manifestations. Hi, I can see more people joining. Welcome. I am waiting for you guys' questions about manifestation, so just feel free to comment with anything regarding manifestation, any doubt you might have, anything you're dealing with. Hi, Richie. Do you ever think about someone and then they call you? That happens a lot to me. I've been trying to stop it more often when it is inconvenient. Oh, hi, the ghosted woman. You know, I was going to say you won't believe this, but this has almost never happened to me. And I hear this so much from so many people that they just think of someone and then they message. I have specifically consciously manifested people to call me, to text me, to contact me. But this has never happened to me specifically. I have no idea why. I probably have some assumptions about it, but I know that this happens a lot. But it is nice to see little signs of proof like that it works. Yeah, I can tell you another thing that might help you with this one, that you want to stop something to manifest, something that isn't particularly negative. I have had periods where I was manifesting numbers, the famous angel numbers, whatever they are called. I personally believe that we are just manifesting it. And then you see a number and you pay attention to it, and then it manifests, and then you're like, whoa, this isn't a coincidence. God knows what this means. And then you pay more and more attention to it, and then it keeps manifesting. And I have had like years at a time, and 3 times with 3 different numbers. And in the very beginning, the first one was the very beginning of my manifestation journey. So I was also like, that was the law of attraction time, like past life. And I was also like, ooh, this has to mean something. And I would look it up, and then nothing would ever happen. But these numbers would continuously manifest. So what I did was not paying attention, not paying so much attention, and not giving it so much both focus and attention and importance when I was noticing the number. So it slowly stopped manifesting. And then it happened again, like a nice number, these typical 1111 or 2222. And then I would go like, ooh, nice number. And then it would start manifesting, and it would drive me crazy. And then again, I would consciously make myself not pay attention. Like, you see the number, or the person is calling you or texting you because you thought of them, you don't go deep into it or like, oh my God, now this manifested again. You're like, whatever. That attitude removes your attention and it stops manifesting. If anyone is wondering about numbers, I am a conscious manifester. I don't think that it's anything other than we are simply manifesting it. You first pay attention to it, and then now it's in your consciousness, and now you're manifesting it. I don't think there is spirit guides or angels or whatever telling you something. It's all your assumptions materialized. Hi, Anna. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you? How does thought transmission work when you're scripting? Does SP receive our affirmations instantly? The way thought transmission works is when you get through either affirming or scripting, whatever technique you do, that's not important. What is important is what you are focusing on and what state you are in while you're doing it. So if you are scripting or affirming or having inner conversations or visualizing or doing whatever with your specific person, that state is transmitted. Your thoughts are energy, even though I don't use that word so much in manifestation because it's very vague. But in this case, I think it's very, very valid to say it's energy, and energy doesn't know time and space. And this is it goes for all manifestations. You think a thought, just like Richie said, when you don't have resistance, it's instant or very quick. So it transmits. Or if it's other things, it manifests quickly because there's nothing resisting it. Now, if you are scripting or doing other techniques and it's delayed, your manifestation is delayed, that means there is an opposing story. That is the only thing that delays our manifestation. This is why we need to repeat. So when I like to think of it like this, for me personally, it doesn't matter if SP is receiving my thoughts immediately. The importance for me is to change my state enough through doing these techniques that SP's state changes and solidifies. And her state completely depends on your state, whatever state you are in. And they will get thoughts that are synced with your current state. So, for example, do you start to feel loved, even feel the possibility of it happening because now you're transmitting that type of thought. So for me, it's more like if I think these thoughts, SP is going to start thinking similar thoughts or same thoughts, and all I need to do is keep going so that it solidifies in me. Because if it's solidified in me, it's solidified with them. Make sure everyone who is manifesting an SP, try to put more focus on yourself and the way you feel about the whole situation rather than focusing on whatever is happening with them. Whatever needs to happen with them will happen. I hope I answered your question. Hello, Anna. Hope you're well. I am. Thank you. I hope you're well as well. Ever heard of the concept of excess potential? I have no idea what that means, to be honest. Hello, Anna. For me to take whatever I was saying about, or actually Richie was saying about thinking of someone and them calling you or texting you, that happens to me all the time. I need to text so and so and tell them whatever. Then I forget, and then they reach out. Yeah, in this case, it's very practical. They do the work for you. Hi, Anna. Hello. Okay, I have a question because I've never done this. Manifest a person you don't even know if they exist. You don't know that they exist, or they don't know that you exist. You know what they look like and act like, but it's all preference. Would that even work? Most SPs are known. Are you asking me if you can manifest a relationship with a specific type of person that you have in mind without knowing a specific person physically? Because if that's the question, then absolutely yes. You can manifest a relationship without knowing the person. Yes, the person will somehow be found. So yeah, if you're doing that, focus on creating the person in your mind and what they're like, what they how they think, how they act, how they treat you, etc. Still focus on how you feel in that relationship, because that is important, because you're manifesting your experience. So a lot of self-concept, but yes, focus on manifesting the person basically the way you want them to be. Create the whole personality, looks if you want to, or focus on being attracted to them. Then they will be in a way that you are attracted to them. So yeah, long story short, absolutely yes. About numbers, back to numbers. Yes, I've been seeing the same hour, the same minute all the time. Today, even on the way back home, 16, 16, 17, 17. Was even thinking to talk about it with you. And this was the first topic you were saying. Yes, it is going to continue manifesting for as long as you focus on it. Remove focus and it will disappear. They say we can script what we want our SP to say or do to us. Okay, but how does that even go to their brain or work to play out? Okay, the way it does is that they start having thoughts about wanting to do those things. And from their experience, they got the idea. They start thinking about you, they start maybe missing you, they start wanting to reach out, and then this persists until they have to reach out and do the thing. But from their experience, they got the idea, they wanted to. My SP, we were impressed by each other, but then we had several misunderstandings and he blocked me. How can I get him back? Now, the quick fix would be just manifest unblocking, manifest contact. But an even more important thing that I would suggest would be figure out what assumptions you have that are creating the problem in the relationship and change those assumptions so that you manifest the whole package, because you could potentially just manifest unblocking or manifest them contacting you some other way, however. But then those assumptions that manifested in misunderstandings, etc., and eventually blocking, if they remain, they are going to manifest again. Maybe not in a specific, the same situation, maybe in different situations. So I highly recommend understanding what your assumptions are about yourself, the person, the relationship, and work with those. And at the same time, you could potentially also at the same time manifest being unblocked, the person being back, etc. Even the person coming back doesn't remove the assumptions that created the problem, unless you create either a statement or a scene where all that is included, problems are solved, you are in a committed relationship, whatever you're manifesting. Just an example. If that's the case, then that would solve the assumptions. But I would still recommend it, especially if you know what your assumptions are, change those. Thank you. You're welcome, Ghosted Woman. Excessive potential is when you put too much importance on your desire, so it creates excessive potential, and that's why it doesn't manifest, is what some LOA coaches say, referring to Vadim Zeland. I have read his book, and that the most famous one, I don't remember the title. That is not the go-to source I would suggest as a manifestation. I don't know, source text to study. It's yeah, from manifestation perspective. Let's go back to Neville Goddard. Whenever, by the way, everyone, whenever in doubt, go to Neville. You manifest your experiences from your state. So you put all these words. There's, please pay attention that there's a lot of fluff, and in periods, I always hear like a new term that has now that is now everywhere. Simplify it. Go back to the basics. You manifest from your state. Your state is what you believe to be true, what you feel to be true in the moment. Belief and feeling as if something is real is trained. So if you don't believe that your manifestation is true or happening, that's not a problem. That is trained. You will train it. You will get to that state. That's the process of getting to that state. Process not meaning that it has to take forever. It's just the training of your mind. So if you are putting so much importance on your desire in a way that it's on a pedestal and you feel the lack of it, now you're in the feeling of lack. I don't understand people's problem with other people's desires importance. Your desire is important, but that's the starting point. It is important. Otherwise, why do you want it? Now that you have identified your desire and that you want it, you go into your imagination, into your thoughts and imagination, and you start rehearsing the state of having it. Rehearsing. It's the repetition of affirmations, the scene, the inner conversations, the scripting, the whatever you're doing, visualization, whatever technique you're doing. In doing so, especially when you do things correctly with focus, etc., attention, at some point you get into the stage of, I actually have this thing. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, because I also don't want to confuse you with this state. All you need to do is to rehearse it. This thing about excessive potential and then it doesn't manifest. I don't even understand what this means, to be honest. Go back to yourself. What are your most thoughts, like dominant thoughts, dominant state? Are you thinking from having your desire or from not having your desire? That's what matters. Don't overcomplicate it. Not necessary to overcomplicate. I manifest receiving a bracelet I wanted and seeing snow where I live. I remember the snow, by the way. I live, even though they said there was a 1% chance of it happening all last week. So you manifested it. Wonderful. Congratulations. I had a client who was manifesting an SP, and then she was manifesting a job. And in between, while we were doing our sessions, she had started manifesting things. And just for fun, every time, between every session we were having, she was manifesting receiving gifts. She had got the hang of manifesting receiving gifts. And once she started, it kept coming. It had become so easy for her to just receive gifts, specifically manifesting it. Once you get the hang of something, it becomes really easy and effortless. Hi, Anna. So with my SP, can I manifest me falling for him? Because I realized that was the problem and it keeps coming back. Do I need to worry about feeling it real or any feeling whatsoever? Or does the affirming without belief do the trick? Great question. yes, you can manifest you feeling for him, because mostly we are manifesting, we're focusing on the SP falling for us. This is a state, your state. You are manifesting your state. So yes, absolutely, like no question here. You can manifest you falling for him. And I don't want you to focus on feeling if that's a problem. A lot of people can actually like sit and feel it, but other people, again, many others, can't. Take that, always take the can't with a grain of salt, because that's an assumption. Of course you can. It's your imagination, it's your state. But if you can't, don't worry about it, because when you repeat, this is what I was saying before, the belief is trained. At first, you're not going to believe it, because if you believed it, you would have your manifestation and we wouldn't be here talking about it. So you go back to your affirmations, your statements. It's the same thing. Your imaginal acts, etc. You going back and repeating all that is rehearsing the state. The state is that feeling state where you actually feel this to be true, to be real. So if you don't believe anything, don't worry about it. Belief is trained. Affirming will do the trick, but I don't recommend robotic affirming, which for me, I have started to think that people mean different things when they say robotic affirming. When I say robotic affirming, I mean mindless affirming, where you're not really paying attention to what you're affirming. So it's in the background, just repeating mindlessly. Focused affirming creates the state. And in my opinion, it's far more powerful and also takes less time in order for you to get into the state. So if you can affirm consciously, paying attention to what you're affirming, that will create the state and do all the work. So yeah, no worries about not believing. When you talked about how you feel about an assumption, are you referring to feeling in the body? It reminds me of parts of one of Joseph Murphy's books talking about sending the message to the solar plexus. I vaguely remember this. Sorry, I had to shorten some words to fit the chat text limit. Also, that mentioning the solar plexus was a question. Forgot to write that part. Feeling in a part of the body. I have never done this, to be honest. Sending a feeling into the solar plexus or any other chakra, I have never really done this. When I talked about how you feel about how I feel about an assumption, can you clarify this? When I say affirm with focus and it changes your state, your the way you feel about it, is that what you mean? Because the way it happens is that it changes the way you feel. It goes from anxiety to some sort of this could happen. This feels nice. So you go, when you feel it is true. Oh, okay. How you feel about an assumption and when you feel it is true. It feels calm. It feels confident. It feels like you have it, even though in the 3D, you know you don't. You consciously know you don't because you see your 3D, you experience it. So you're not being completely delusional. But at the same time, there's an inner knowing that it's yours. And it's this very calm and confident state. This one is probably subjective and different from person to person, but it feels something like I am calm and confident that it is mine. There's no lack, there's no anxiety, there's no desiring even. Neville talks about this a lot. the desire transmutes into having. First, you start with your desire because you don't have it. And then it's like, to me, that is a gut feeling sometimes. It can be. A lot of anxiety is in my solar plexus area. I find it interesting. Very subjective. Yeah. I have also found that mostly, and I don't know why this is. I don't know whether this is in psychology, whatever this is, to be honest, what subject this is. Anxiety often in the body, it feels either in the gut, in the chest, or in the throat. I don't know why that is. And I don't think it only feels there. I think that there's a possibility that you could feel it in your arm. Like this is the whole thing is your body. But regardless of where this feels, the negative, I mean, when the state changes, I don't think I feel it in one place. It's like it's a general calm and confidence and like, yeah, I have it. Now I have it. It's mine, regardless of what I'm seeing in the 3D. And that is also a wonderful place to be because it takes the importance away from the 3D, because the 3D could be complete beep and you wouldn't care because on the inside you have your desire. Hi Anna, I still find it hard not to act and just let the bridge of incidents unfold on its own. A lot of people have this let me call it a problem in manifesting, because should I seek to be okay to trust the universe to handle the bridge of incidents? Yeah. Universe is not the word that I would use. It's your subconscious mind, but details. So basically, yes, because every time you're taking action, it comes from, I don't have it, so I need to do something about it, take action to get it, and you're still in the state of lack. Every time you want to take action, stop yourself, go back to the end in your mind with whatever technique you're doing. This can be your exercise. For example, every time you want to take action, stop yourself and ask, why am I taking this action? Do I not feel I have it? Because if I'm in the lack state, that lack state is going to manifest regardless of what action I take. So with most people, it's the negative thoughts during the day that they are paying attention to and changing. With you, it can be the action taking. If this happens frequently, you need to become aware of when it's happening. Like if it's not on like automatically you taking action without realizing it soon enough to contemplate why you're doing it. Last year, I thought I was helping the subconscious make things happen faster, and I only made bad decisions. I can imagine that because your decisions have been made from your state at the time. It's the state that decides. You cannot help your subconscious. Your subconscious knows far more than you do. That is what you need to trust in. Your subconscious knows how to make this happen. That is what you need to trust in. You cannot help. There's no way for you in your human form to help your subconscious, which is the infinite intelligence that you're working with. So, and yes, you will make bad decisions that I'm not surprised as someone looking from the outside, because your actions are manifestations of your current state. You are also your own manifestation. Related to 3D, sometimes when I am trying to imagine SP and I'm trying to quiet my how-why tendency, very common one, I'll catch the friend in the imaginary scene asking me how we met. Sneaky, sneaky consciousness. I know. Um, well, yeah, this is one way of dealing with it. The way I do it is, well, it doesn't happen so much anymore, but it used to, because if something is not obvious to our eyes, our 3D human experience, then we go, oh no, this isn't possible all of a sudden because I can see how this is going to happen. What I have done has been stopping myself, telling myself, this is very similar to what I was saying earlier, telling myself, my subconscious knows how to make this happen. I don't have to. It's okay that I don't know. It's okay that I can't see how this is going to happen. All I need to do is go to my end goal. And I have manifested many things like that. And by the way, this has trained me to be okay with not knowing. I've come to a place where I don't even want to know how it happens. I don't care. Like, I want my end goal. So this is why I focus a lot on how the end goal feels, because that then includes everything. I was inspired to give my SP a love letter before I left hospital. She's a nurse. Was that inspired action then? I didn't do it because I tried to force anything, just wanted to pour my heart to her, which is okay. Expressing your emotions is a beautiful thing. Um, it could be, you only know the whole um, bridge of events, which if you have taken part of it, this has been through inspired action, as you say. You will know it only after it happens, so you realize why things happened, why you did that thing you did, why you took that road, why you called that person, etc. Most of the times you don't realize that this is part of your manifestation, especially when it's an actual inspired action. So don't worry too much, especially if it's something that feels natural, it feels nice, and you're not in the state of, I have to take action, I have to do something, I have to let her know that I love her so that I can manipulate her into thinking that she also loves me. So if that's not the state, don't worry about it. What do I do when I see the opposite of my wish? I normally affirm aggressively because I'm annoyed. But is it better to work towards indifference? I still affirm the same amount either way. I don't necessarily think that the indifference is what you need to focus on. I would, if you're focusing on anything, focus on having your wish. Contemplate, how would you be, what would you feel like if you already had your wish, and contemplate that. Hi, Anna. Do you think closing your eyes and affirming make things happen faster? I don't know. If you're focused enough for it to put you into the state of whatever you're affirming, then yes. I have manifested many things, through affirming, but during the day while doing a lot of other things. So it depends. If you're focused, I think for me, the main thing is focus. If you're focused on what you're doing in your mind, you block out everything else, and that gets you into the state of the wish fulfilled, this mystical, magical thing, which is a very simple thing, actually. Don't overcomplicate it. So just, if this makes you feel good, let's just put it that way, oversimplified, then it's far better than affirming either in the state of fighting your negative thoughts, so it creates more lack than abundance or presence of your wish, or if you affirm, again, like I mentioned earlier, robotically, where your mind is on something else while your affirmations are in the background, then I would rather have you close your eyes and sit and affirm for a few minutes at a time, maybe. Yeah, then that's much better. I have a suggestion, a video telling the story of some of your manifestations or from people you know too, or clients? You probably have noticed, and I was expecting someone to ask me this question at some point. I don't share many of my manifestations because so many of them include people, and I don't want to share all that on YouTube, to be honest. I hope you understand. I have, though, some videos about objects that I have manifested, and with clients, again, I am always asking the client, is it okay I tell this in a video? If it's a yes, I tell it in a video. If it's a no, then there's nothing to do. Well, everyone is pushed out, but um, I will try to make more of those videos, though. I will keep this in mind. I am sometimes sharing my own personal manifestations with clients whenever it is helpful for their situation. How to recreate SP when there are just too many things that need to be changed or different. It's too much work, or so it seems. As someone said earlier, if you are already thinking these thoughts, if you are already imagining the problem, you might as well imagine the solution, whichever comes up. Start there. It's either that, or you go to the end where the relationship is exactly the way you want it. So you create a scenario where all problems have been solved. Be a little creative with this so that you actually imagine the thing that you want to experience. But otherwise, yeah, are you spending all day thinking about the problems? Because that's also too much work. Imagine the solutions instead. Your mind is going to think whether you like it or not. So you might as well think things or imagine things that you want to experience. Yes, about her views on life and love. Yeah, what do you keep imagining during the day? Why do you focus on the problems? I mean, this is a rhetoric question. We know why it comes up. But from a manifestation perspective, if you are focusing on the problems, you might as well focus on the solutions without doing the extra work. It's not extra work because you are already doing the work with the problem, with the unwanted. Best to go to how you want to feel in the relationship, e.g., loved, supported, given attention, respected, etc. Yes, I 100% agree with this. It always comes back to you, how you feel, how you are in whatever you are manifesting, especially relationships, which are very important. But even when you are manifesting a car, I always say you're not manifesting the car. You are manifesting the version of you who has the car. It seems very simple and simplistic and just details, but it's very important. Everything is self-concept in that sense. This is the perfect example of how everything is self-concept. Even when you are manifesting a car, you owning the car is your new self-concept. It's how you are, who you are now. In one version, you don't have the car. That's who you are. In the other version of you, you have the car. That's who you are. That's self-concept. Is changing affirmations often change the progress of the manifestation? It depends. Sometimes it may be a good idea to change the affirmations. Let me explain. If you are affirming something that resonates, it's exactly what you want, but then you get frustrated that it's not happening in the 3D and you change your affirmation, I don't recommend that. This is, again, an act of feeling lack. Sometimes, though, you affirm different things and you realize this is not it. It doesn't resonate. It's like it's not it. And then you find an affirmation that resonates, feels good, etc. You stick with that. Other times, you nothing resonates, so you just affirm what you want. And at some point, it will start resonating because it starts sinking in. So you need to, when you are manifesting consciously, this is a lot about knowing yourself while you're doing it also. Like, is this resonating? Am I just being impatient? Am I just, I don't know, XYZ, fill in the blank. So, and sometimes I have even experienced no affirmation resonating at all. So I would affirm anything that would come to mind about the situation. And then at some point, something would click. Something would like, oh, this is it. Or why haven't been I affirming this instead? Your mind brings up things. So really depends on your state, on where you're coming from, why you're changing your affirmation. Please explain. Time is not linear. We do age, though, which is an assumption. And I can't imagine my SP doesn't have a child or she wasn't married. It doesn't bother me, just curious. Can't imagine is it's because you are trained, trained in that situation. You know it, you've experienced it. Now your mind is resisting the other story. Time is not linear means past, present, future exists all in one place. We are changing realities when we experience life. You are not going from past to the future. I mean, in the 3D world, that is the experience. Now we're talking about manifestation, so it's a level up. Now we are in the 4D, which is your mind. In your mind, which is where all realities are created from, manifested from. The past exists right there, together with the future. So whichever you focus on, that is what you keep experiencing. And this is why, by the way, I hope this makes sense. This is why revision works. This is why memories manifest. This is a bit of mind-bending stuff. Your memories, which happened some time ago in the past, will keep manifesting. If it's a good thing, it's good, great. Nothing to do there. But then, thanks to Neville Goddard, we know about revision, which is going into imagination and changing that memory, which will then result in a different present and different future. So this is why everything is connected, everything at once in the same place. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense. This is a complicated topic, assumption again, but Joseph Murphy talks about aging. There's a lecture where the fallacy of aging or something like that, where he talks about everything we know about aging is simply assumptions. I heard recently the story of this student of Neville that even wrote a book that made me confused. She wanted to have a girl but had a boy instead, but he liked to cook and sew. And Neville said that she had a girl then, but that's not the same, right? What could have gone wrong? I mean, Neville said that the boy was like a girl in a sense. Yes, I know the story. The boy was like a girl is, again, all assumptions. By the way, when you read any of these big teachers, including Neville Goddard, They had assumptions. And they had assumptions of the time that they were living in. So the boy could sew and cook was a girly thing back then. Like in 2026, it's not a girly thing to sew or cook. So these are assumptions. Like you see how they manifested the assumption. What could have gone wrong is simply the assumption not having impressed properly. Um, the work that she has done, maybe she hasn't completely done the work enough times. I can't say it, or hasn't got into the state of the wish fulfilled fully. Um, yeah, I would have to be in her head to know what she has done and not done properly. But yeah, all assumptions. I love when Neville tries to work out the logical parallel universe and present influence, past and future, with the scope of knowledge in the 50s. Science keeps reflecting spiritual metaphysics more and more. Yeah. When Neville's speeches about taxes in the 60s, he was getting salty. Yes. There's a lot of old time assumptions in their books. Sometimes I have even noticed limiting beliefs, etc., which is normal, that they were human. Neville, Murphy, Florence Scovel I have also studied a little bit Genevieve Behrend and Thomas Troward, but not enough to say whether they had their limiting beliefs. They probably did. But yeah, keep in mind that they were people. Being able to manifest SP back in relationship with me, but when we are together, I then want more from him, like planned dates, spoil me, flowers, gifts, deep conversations. Why, when I think this, we split up? Ooh, I would have to ask you, why do you think that is? What assumptions do you have? It's like I get bored, but wonder if he's the right one for me. Should I manifest him to change, or manifest a new partner? When I think this, we break up, then I want him back. You know what you want. Like, you can manifest this person, or you can manifest a different person in the relationship you want to. That's up to you. But I would guess there would be a little bit of, at least a little bit of self concept here. Why do you think he doesn't spoil you with flowers, gifts? Why do you think he doesn't have deep conversations with you? How does that make you feel, etc.? All these questions, or the answers to these questions, would be your assumptions. So try to understand your state when these things happen. And by the way, regardless of you manifesting this person and solving these problems in this relationship, or manifesting a new person, you would still have to solve these problems, because changing the person doesn't change your assumptions. You will take these assumptions with you into the other relationship. So I would highly, highly recommend you look into whatever you're assuming that makes this situation possible, and to change those assumptions to your benefit. What about soul contracts and destiny? Destiny plays out in accordance to what we choose to experience, but most people still do it unconsciously. Is our subconscious mind our destiny? I don't believe in any destiny or soul contract, or I mean, I don't know. Maybe we were destined to meet people. I mean, destined, decided before we got born to meet people. I don't know. This is completely irrelevant for your manifestation. You still manifest through your assumptions. Forget about soul contracts and destiny. This is a lot of tarot talk. You focus on this, you completely lose your own power. Whatever problem you are experiencing, go back into yourself and try to understand what you are assuming about this. how you're reacting. You are experiencing life through your own assumptions, through everything that you hold into your subconscious mind. That's it. All these things that, all these extra things confuse you. Maybe, like, I would recommend um, not to watch content or consume content that say anything that means that you are not in control of your experience. It just confuses you, it creates doubt, it does nothing else. Because like the idea of destiny completely opposes manifestation. If there's destiny, then what are we even doing here talking about it? About manifestation? Because manifestation is you creating a reality in your mind of your choice, the one that you desire, and then it manifesting. So what has destiny to do with it? And this is something that can be tested. It is very practical. It can be tested. All this twin flame separation stuff, they need to heal, evolve, realize something about themselves or me, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it leaves you completely powerless. Yes, leave that. It doesn't matter. Even if it were true, it doesn't matter because you still manifest from your assumptions. This content is, I know there's a lot of it, and I know there's a lot of it in tarot. And many people watch tarot, which is okay. Like, I'm not against it at all, but it's a manifestation. They are telling you, you're a tarot reader, by the way. I'm pretty sure there are people watching this who watch tarot. Tarot is really fun. It's really fun. Tarot cards are super beautiful. The art on it is beautiful. I love the art of tarot. But you need to know that your tarot reader is going to tell you your current assumptions, nothing else. There's nothing outside of your assumptions in your reality. So if you watch a tarot reader or anything that talks about twin flame separation, they need to heal, etc., switch it. Try to understand, why am I assuming that I'm being told these things? What am I assuming about my person? Affirm the opposite things, affirm the desired reality. And then when you go back to tarot, they will tell you your new assumptions. I have tested this, by the way. I have never talked about this, but I have tested this with tarot specifically. Watch the video, have the person say all my current assumptions, which I'm very aware of, limiting beliefs, the problems I'm focusing on, etc. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine, awesome. Then I switch it off. I affirm for a couple of days, find again a random tarot reading, and the person says my new affirmations that I have been affirming the past couple of days. This makes it completely useless because I like, unless you want to use it as a tool to know what you're currently assuming, that's all. YouTube has been putting me on a tarot algorithm recently. Yes, you said this last time too. It's stuck with me. Thanks. Yeah, by the way, reality works like an algorithm too. So you pay attention to something, you start really focusing on it, you get inundated with it. YouTube is the same. All social media is the same. Everyone is you pushed out, by the way, for every tarot. Everyone who is watching tarot, your tarot reader is you pushed out. They're going to tell you what you assume. How to manifest healing from chronic illness while dealing with symptoms on a daily basis, and even for years now. I feel like I have too much resistance. I understand that this can feel tricky, especially if you're dealing with symptoms on a daily basis. You need to start in some place that you can do it without resistance. Like, for example, if you have breaks from your symptoms during the day, that would be when I would either affirm or visualize or imagine myself or feel myself healed, or falling asleep. This one would be a good manifestation to do sats with. I have a couple of videos on sats. Please check that out. I don't remember it, but I think I might have a playlist with sats. If not, it's in my playlist of techniques, manifestation techniques. Do that. Start with that. And just like every other manifestation, you have to just do the thing that works for you. Like if going to the affirmation, I'm completely healthy and feeling good and energized, doesn't do anything for you or even creates more resistance, start affirming, I am starting to heal. I'm starting to heal. I'm starting to feel better. My cells are starting to heal. My body is starting to heal. My body can heal. Maybe start with that. My body is completely capable of healing itself. My subconscious mind is completely capable of healing my body. Get that into your mind first. Do sats also. And listening about no contact only keeps you stuck in no contact 100%. I really agree. Tarot cards reflect our subconscious and limiting beliefs 100%. Once you learn to manifest consistently, tarot just gets boring, honestly. Agree with that also 100%. I am so relieved that I'm free from those tarot cards. Twin flame. Beep. We never know your now we never know your destiny until we leave our physical body in it. I enjoy the feeling of getting my destiny in my control rather than the external forces, tarot, etc. Yes, whatever, like the choices we may have made before we were born, etc. All those things. I also think that we will figure it out when we are in that other realm. Here, it's irrelevant. Here, you are manifesting. The beautiful thing about manifesting is that it can be tested. Even those of you who are struggling to manifest your desire, even you have the proof that it's working, because if you check in with your thoughts during the day, your frustrations, your focus, that is your experience. Thanks. So you're welcome. I wish you all the health and well-being in the world. What is wrong with my self-concept if I meet women who are so into me at first, have a crush, then after time get cold or lose interest? Is it abandonment issue? It could be. It could be. In your case, I would start playing with the story that is the opposite. For example, the women you meet are into you at first, have a crush, and the more time passes, the more their feelings deepen. The more they get serious, the more they want to commit to you. This is a story that I would have you focus on. I am not sure how to pronounce this. I healed my plantar fasciitis by talking to my body at night before I went to bed. We are character limited in here, so I write what I said separately. Okay, by the way, science is catching up with this. I read about it somewhere. I don't remember where. I don't remember which university it was, but some big important university had done a study about this, where people had talked to their body about healing. The article I read didn't mention what exactly they had said, but that had worked better than medicine, something like that, which is like, we know. just to say that even science is catching up. But yeah, talking to your body, for example, gratitude. By the way, anyone who is manifesting anything with healing or anything else. By the way, anything else. Being grateful for your body, that it's healing, that it's strong, that it's beautiful, whatever you're manifesting. I have, someone mentioned success stories earlier. In my success stories playlist, I have a success story where I manifested with gratitude. It wasn't healing, by the way, it wasn't healing. It was something completely different. But your mind doesn't care if you're manifesting healing or a person or, I don't know, money. So about talking to the body, this is the rest of the same person's comment. I took several deep breaths. Then I said, I know who I am. I am the creator of my reality. Body, I am speaking to you. I am pain-free. Feet, you are healed and pain-free. I said, thank you for completely healing. Thank you for letting me walk and exercise and everything you do for me. I'm so happy to be healed. I said all this while in pain. Wonderful manifestation. Wonderful manifestation. Yes. Yes. I have not much to add to this. Even if it's challenging, even if you have symptoms, you can. I have used this example about manifesting change in the looks. A lot of people are asking about weight loss, for example. I see myself in the mirror. How can I think I'm thin when I feel fat? You can look at yourself in the mirror and see whatever you see, but your thoughts don't have to align with what you see. Your thoughts can be different. The same thing with pain. Your thoughts don't have to be aligned with the physical discomfort. But if it's too much, if it creates too much resistance, SATS is a solution, or moments of pain-free moments during the day is also a solution. Let me see if I missed some questions up here. My current SP is different in looks and energy now. I want her to be like when we met 2 years ago, like I changed timeline. Go back in imagination. Or just imagine her the way you want her to be. Like, go to the end. It's always the solution. Oh my God. Today I've just almost finished the book by Joseph Murphy. He gave a lot of cases about this, and I love his affirmations suggested, like my subconscious make our body, and so it will definitely heal it. Yes, something like that. This has to be The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. The whole chapter about techniques and approaches you probably will be interested in reading. Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I'm also currently reading that book for the fourth, fifth time. I don't know which. I don't remember how many times I've read that book. Wonderful one. Oh no, I want weight gain. Same thing. Same process applies with different words. I was still probably in pain the next day, but I didn't even remember I said what I said the day before. A few days later, I realized I was walking normal in the morning, pain-free. Wonderful manifestation. I am so happy for you. And this is exactly the stuff that we should use our subconscious for. Like, there's no reason. Like, I mean, of course, we know that, we have assumptions, etc. But when you know that you are the infinite intelligence in your body, you don't have to suffer, or you don't have to lack money or your person. Louise Hay, Heal Your Mind. This is a question. No, no, no. She was mentioning Joseph Murphy. Louise Hay is a little bit vague, I think. But no, she has that one good affirmation that I like. All is well. What is it? Does anybody remember that affirmation? All is well. I don't remember the second sentence, but when I use that affirmation, I affirm all is well. I am safe. Out of this situation, only good can come. The second sentence of her is different. I don't remember that, but yeah, she has good affirmations, and she's good with affirming. She is good with explaining that you can't think negative thoughts all day long and then expect positive things to happen. She is good with self-love. That is something that if anyone is dealing with self-love, she is someone who says you should look at yourself in the mirror every morning and tell yourself, I love you, which is a wonderful exercise. But the reason I said she's a bit vague is just that after Neville is so precise. The older Louise Hay is one of the ones that I wouldn't avoid. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Power of Your Subconscious Mind. For anybody wondering which book was mentioned earlier, Joseph Murphy, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I highly recommend it. I am going to read a few more questions. There are not many left, actually. If you have any more questions, please put it in the comments. I'm about to wrap this up, but I will finish the questions here. I already focus on my wish, affirming like 30 minutes a day as part of my routine. But what is optimal way to deal with the 3D when it's the opposite? I get pissed off and say, why has the hologram not updated yet? So how to deal with this? Aggressive affirming or ignore? Neither. I mean, if aggressively affirming puts you in the state of the wish fulfilled and you're calm and you're confident, then yes. But otherwise, in that moment, you realize that, ooh, I just affirmed I don't have it. Every time you react to the 3D negatively, you just affirmed you don't have it. So go back to your affirmations routine. You don't have to do 30 minutes every single time, but in that moment, focus on your end goal. What would be ideal routine for affirming that feels natural, not forced, but enough for manifesting desire? Is it enough to affirm in the morning and before sleep and scripting in between? This depends on you. This depends on the person. Affirming morning and evening and scripting in between is great. Like nothing wrong with that. But you still have to pay attention whether you're telling the negative story in between. I can understand Neville's lectures, but his books I have a hard time following. I understand that. I totally understand that. Also because he talks about many, many topics. And in one book, he can make it sound like you only need to visualize. A visualization is the only thing that works. In the other book, he talks about all about feeling state, feeling it real. And then there are lectures where he talks about repeating a thought over and over. And it sounds like that's the thing that you need to do. So with Neville, you have to study like a bunch of texts and then get the essence of it. He's very precise. To be honest, when you start understanding him, he's very precise. It's just that you need to, if you read one book, that's sort of not enough. But you don't have to, like you, the person who is asking the question, you know how to manifest. You need to focus on your imagination, understand what your beliefs are, what you are assuming about the situation, about yourself, work with that. And this is why Neville, by the way, Neville Goddard is the reason I say it doesn't matter what technique you use as long as you are coming from the end. Because again, as I mentioned, in one, it's all visualization. In the other, it's all feel it real. In the other, it's a lot of affirming. In the other, it's a lot of inner conversation. So what I get from him is that it's all about what you do in your mind on repeat with focus so that it impresses. Yeah. And also his language is also not the easiest to understand. I totally get it. Only good can come in this situation. Yes, you told me, Anna, I like it, although I'm used to similar one. Everything works out in my favor with the best scenario, whatever this is about. Louise Hay affirmations. Thank you for reminding. All is well. All is well. Only good can and will come in this situation. That is the last part, though. The second sentence I still don't remember. Are people in our reality really hologram? Do you like Bashar? No. He says only you are in the room. This causes so much problems for people. The problem is I have a hard time staying in the state of, oh, this is a different question. Same person, different question. The people in your reality are real. Again, Neville actually has a very small passage in a lecture or a book, I don't remember, that clarifies this. The people in your life are real. Don't worry about it. This other people not being real, other people not existing, it creates problems. And it's not true. Back to Neville. Neville says that during the lecture that I remember, he says, every single one of you who sits here in this room is God in your body. Everyone is manifesting their reality from their own assumptions. So the people you're dealing with, your SP, your parents, your friends, etc., they are real people. How to overcome the lingering thought that we have to earn things in our life, suffer in order to have good things, whatever is wrong. The idea that people aren't real is really strange. I could never get that. Yeah, that is really strange, and that's not true. So forget about it. The idea that you have to suffer in order to have good things, this is something started probably by the religions. This is just an assumption. Treat it like an assumption. Affirm that you already are worthy and deserve to have your desires. This is where Neville comes in. I don't have much time to go too deep in this, but Neville would say, of course you are worthy. Don't worry about it. But you need to repeat it in order for you to change this assumption. This is an assumption that you have to suffer to earn things. You don't have to suffer to earn things. You have to imagine from the end or think from the end to the point of feeling like it's to the point of the wish fulfilled, and then it manifests. That's it. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. This is Louise Hay's affirmation, and it is so positive. She was such a positive woman, by the way. I repeat it for anyone who wants to use this affirmation. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. I believe people are true and real. Bashar is very confusing indeed. I agree with that. And an advice on this: anybody who confuses you, switch it off. You don't need to be confused about this. You already have the power in you. You're already manifesting. No one is learning to manifest. We are learning to control what we manifest. So if anybody is confusing you, if anybody, whatever content you're watching is creating any sort of suffering or anxiety or like you lose power, switch it off. Don't go back to it. Try to manifest my boyfriend to also think of me as a best friend. We broke up, and when I manifested him back, now he only wants to be friends. Keep saying I'm his bestie. How can I get commitment? This only tells me that your manifestation is not done. You keep persisting. And also, revision on the spot. I don't remember if I have mentioned. I have mentioned, by the way, in one of my videos about how to deal with people in the 3D. This is in my playlists of how to deal with the 3D. Revision on the spot. That's not what he said. He said he's in love with you. He said he's in love with you. And you hear him say that. You need to simply change this story. You need to find a way to change the story. That's it. So whenever he says that, you, instead of reacting to, oh my God, this still doesn't work, he still wants to be my friend. That's not what he said. He said he wants commitment. He said he's in love with me. How about that? Play around with that. And your thoughts during the day about it. I manifested SP before manifesting health and aesthetic issues fixed first, and that tends to be a source of insecurity. By the way, SP and I never met. We live in different countries, which doesn't matter. Your subconscious mind doesn't care which country you and he lives in. About source of security, work on your self-concept. Do Louise Hay's method. Stand in front of the mirror every morning and look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you, or I love me, or whatever, something that creates this good feeling about yourself. He acts though just as I had scripted. Yep. Whenever pushes me for anything, but I still now and then feel insecure, which makes the manifestation I mentioned before get stuck. Any tips? Self-concept. And work with that insecurity that you're mentioning there. Okay, thank you. I love it about the revision on the spot. It's a wonderful thing. Use it, people. Use it. You have it at your disposal. Revision on the spot on people who say things you don't want to hear. Revise. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for being here with me. Your presence was much appreciated. Please share this live and my channel with anyone that you know that might benefit or is interested in manifesting. I would love to have them with me. And simplify manifestation. There's too much complication and confusion out there. By the way, my point with this whole channel was to remove the confusion, the fluff, the complications. It doesn't need to be. And I've been through it all. I know it. It's unnecessary. I know it from experience that it's completely unnecessary. So again, thank you for being here with me. By the way, I forgot to mention, if anybody wants to join my Master Manifestors Mastermind group, which is group coaching, send me an email if you're interested. And yeah, February groups have already started, but it's going to continue from March and on. If you are interested, otherwise, one-on-one coaching is open. So good night and thank you. Good to see you, Anna. Thank you for being here. It's so good to have so nice to have a conversation with you, even though this isn't a real conversation. During the Master Manifestors, by the way, we're having real conversations. It's not like this. Thank you, Anna, and to all of the questions from the comment section. Bye, Richie. You are so welcome. I am so grateful to have all of you here. Again, your presence is much appreciated. And good night. Nice sitting here and listening, affirming against any opposing thoughts. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice to talk to you. Thank you guys for being here. And yeah, have a good night, good day, wherever you are, and see you probably in the next video, in the actual video.